can know someone for 40 years and still outgrow them. Here's why it happens more often after 60. Think about who you were at 25. Now think about who you are today. The difference is probably enormous. The same is true for your friends. Over decades, people develop different priorities, beliefs, and lifestyles, and sometimes those differences become impossible to ignore. Point 1. Life experiences shape people differently too. Friends may start from the same place, but experience completely different lives. Career successes, hardships, losses, and personal challenges can shape people in unexpected ways. Over time, those experiences may change how they see the world and each other. Point 2. They no longer enjoy the same activities. Activities that once brought friends together may no longer hold the same appeal. One person may enjoy quiet mornings, travel, or family time. Another may still prefer activities that no longer fit his friends' lifestyle. As a result, opportunities to connect become less frequent. Point 3. Their priorities no longer match. As men grow older, what matters most to them often changes. One friend may focus on health and family, while another remains focused on goals that no longer seem important to him. When priorities move in different directions, friendships often begin to drift as well. Point 4. They see aging in completely different ways. One of the most significant changes that happens after 60 is how differently people respond to aging itself. Some men embrace this stage of life as an opportunity to slow down, appreciate family, pursue hobbies, and focus on personal well-being. Others may struggle with the changes that come with getting older. They may become frustrated about retirement, worried about physical limitations, or nostalgic for the past. Neither response is unusual. However, when two friends view aging through completely different lenses, it can become harder for them to connect. Conversations that once felt natural may start feeling uncomfortable. Over time, they may realize they no longer share the same outlook on life. Point 5. Retirement changes people more than expected. Many friendships are built around decades of working life. People see each other regularly, will share similar routines, and experience many of the same challenges. Then retirement arrives. For some men, retirement feels liberating. For others, it can feel unsettling. Without the structure of work, people often discover new interests, develop new routines, and spend time with different groups of people. As a result, two friends who once had nearly identical lifestyles may suddenly find themselves living very different lives. That difference can slowly create distance between them. Point 6. Their conversations no longer feel meaningful. One subtle sign that a friendship is changing is when conversations begin to feel forced. Topics that once created excitement may no longer generate interest. Stories become repetitive. Discussions feel less engaging. Sometimes, neither person can explain exactly what has changed. The friendship still exists. The respect still exists, but that the connection feels weaker than before. Many older men recognize this shift and gradually stop reaching out, as often not because they dislike their friend, but because the relationship no longer provides the same sense of connection it once did. Point 7. They become more protective of their time. After 60, many people become far more aware of how valuable time truly is. They begin asking themselves important questions. Who makes my life better? Who brings me peace? Who do I genuinely enjoy spending time with? As a result, many older men become more selective about where they invest their energy. Friendships that feel stressful, draining, or unfulfilling often receive less attention. This isn't necessarily selfish. It's often a natural response to recognizing that time is limited and worth spending wisely. Point 8. Family starts playing a bigger role. As men age, family often becomes a larger part of daily life. Grandchildren arrive. Adult children need support. Family gatherings become more frequent and meaningful. Many men discover that they simply have less time available for friendships than they once did. Without regular contact, even strong friendships can weaken over time. The distance is rarely intentional. It's often just a reflection of changing responsibilities. Point 9. They develop new interests. The interests people have at 65 are often very different from those they had at 35. Some men become passionate about travel. Others focus on gardening, volunteering, reading, fitness, or learning new skills. When friends develop completely different interests, they naturally spend less time together. The friendship may remain positive, but it no longer occupies the same place in their lives. Point 10. They stop trying to please everyone. Many older men become more comfortable expressing their true preferences. They no longer feel obligated to attend every gathering or maintain every social connection. Instead, they focus on relationships that feel authentic and rewarding. Point 11. They learn to accept change. One of the greatest lessons that comes with age is understanding that change is a natural part of life. People change, relationships change, and sometimes friendships change as well. Accepting that reality often becomes easier with experience. Point 12. Some friendships were built on circumstance. Not every friendship is built on deep compatibility. Many friendships begin because people work together, live near each other, raise children at the same time, or participate in the same activities. Those circumstances can create strong bonds for years. But once those circumstances disappear, the friendship may face a difficult test. Without the original connection holding it together, the relationship may gradually weaken. This doesn't mean the friendship was fake. It simply means it was tied to a particular season of life. Point 13. Values become more important than history. When people are younger, shared experiences often feel enough to maintain a friendship. But later in life, values tend to matter more. How someone treats others, how they respond to challenges, what they believe is important. These qualities become increasingly visible with age. Many men over 60 find that they can overlook fewer differences than they once did. A friendship may have decades of history behind it, yet still struggle if the two people no longer share similar values. Point 14. They seek peace more than popularity. Earlier in life, social circles often feel important. Being included matters. Having many friends may even feel like a measure of success. But for many men over 60, that perspective changes. Peace becomes more valuable than popularity. Meaningful relationships become more important than numerous relationships. As a result, they may quietly step away from friendships that create stress, conflict, or emotional exhaustion. Their social circle becomes smaller, but often it becomes more satisfying as well. Point 15. Outgrowing a friendship doesn't mean it failed. One of the hardest truths about friendship is that not every relationship is meant to last forever in exactly the same form. People grow, lives change, paths diverge. Sometimes, two people simply become different versions of themselves. That doesn't erase the good years they shared. It doesn't mean anyone did something wrong. It simply means the friendship belonged to a different chapter of life. And sometimes, respecting that reality is healthier than pretending nothing has changed. Sometimes outgrowing a friendship isn't about losing someone. It's about accepting that people change. And after 60, that may be one of life's hardest, but most natural realities.